Tonight, we're taking a closer look at how people in Minnesota are getting their hands on guns.
Both legally and illegally. And we learned this week the man who shot and killed 3 first responders in Burnsville had obtained at least one of those firearms through a straw purchase, meaning someone else bought it for him. But long before Shannon Gooden obtained a gun he was banned from possessing, he tried to do it legally.
Fox 9 investigator Nathan O'Neal digs into the system that denied him the right to own a firearm several years ago.
Shannon Gooden desperately wanted a gun. He even went to court to argue he deserved one.
Those are going to be pretty tough cases.
Attorney Kelly Keegan specializes in firearm rights cases. She says the state system is designed to block people like Gooden when they apply to have their rights restored.
In your experience, is this mechanism working properly for Minnesotans?
Yeah, I think it is. I think we trust our judges to make those decisions. This is not something where it's automatic. It's not something where there's even a presumption that they get their rights back.
A Fox 9 investigator's analysis of court cases reveals since 2019, at least 525 petitions were filed statewide to restore the rights to own a firearm. The data shows as many as 328 petitions were actually granted.
What is the primary reason people are seeking to gain their rights back?
First and foremost is hunting. We're a big hunting state.
In one case from 2002, a 19-year-old high schooler in Dakota County was pulled over for having fuzzy dice in the rearview mirror, which led to the discovery of hallucinogenic mushrooms in the car. Court records show the teen did not have a firearm at the time of his arrest, but he was stripped of his right to own a firearm. More than a decade later, the same man petitioned the court to restore his firearm rights, citing his desire to, quote, participate in hunting season again in Minnesota. The court was convinced and restored his firearm rights.
Those are offenses that don't involve any physical violence, and those tend to be the better cases for restoration.
In Dakota County, where Gooden was one of 6 petitions denied, 14 petitions to restore firearms rights were granted. 7 are still pending. Gooden's lifetime ban on firearms stemmed from an assault conviction from 2007, where he pulled a knife on his cousin in a parking lot. When Gooden asked the court to restore his firearm rights in 2020, he claimed he, quote, learned from the poor decisions of his past, and that he wanted to, quote, protect not only himself, but his family as well. That type of reasoning, Keegan says, doesn't go over well in court.
I tell clients that that's a really difficult reason, because what you're really saying is, Judge, if some situation jumps off, if something happens, I want to be able to use a gun against another person, and that makes judges very nervous very, very quickly.
In Gooden's case, the judge didn't buy it and denied to restore his right to own a gun.
Now, it's important to note that the data used in our reporting is not totally complete, since it does not include cases where individuals committed crimes as juveniles. Many of those cases tend to be sealed and not made public. For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Nathan O'Neal.